Hey everybody, this is Captain Fool reporting for duty, giving you my weekly comic book review. So sit back and enjoy. Alright everybody, for those of you that know the drill, I go over a bunch of comic books for the week that I chose to read. Now I didn't have time to read everything, so if I missed something you think I should have read, let me know in the comments below. Also, you may disagree with me on some of my choices. If that's the case, that's alright. Let me know below. Let's just try to keep it civil. My goal is to bring back the old schoolyard days, where we would be in discussing what hero could beat who or what comic book was good and not. And I come armed with my trusty notes, so you'll hear the paper rattle because I do it a little bit old school. I do my grading on a scale of 0 through 10, 7 being average as a 70%. So I'm using schoolyard grading. But that's not all. I also use the League of Comics Geeks to give you other people's views as well as a brief overview of the comic book as well. So let's jump right in. Well, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining me this week for my weekly comic book review. Boy, there's some really good though, and there's some really bad. So let's start with one that's not either really good or bad, but I fear it's going to slip into more bad, and that's The Amazing Spider-Man issue number 46. Its writer is Zeb Wells and artist is Carmen Carnero. League of Comics Geeks said 65 out of 90 liked it with a 3.3 average rating, which I gave it a 7.3. Spidey's cleaning up the mess that is in his life. Yeah, he's made a big mess under Zeb Wells because, Peter Parker can't ever do anything right. And he has another conflict. Electro isn't going to wait for Spidey to figure out all of his problems. He's going to try to break out the Sandman. Yep, because the Sandman's breaking out. I think this was some missed opportunities. Good art. This actually was a fun issue. We do have Jackpot because they keep trying to make her the hero. And I'm sorry, I like MJ, but I like her as not a superhero. Sadly, the next cover that they're using to promote the next issue, if you look at that, when you read this issue, it looks like the series is going to go back downhill again. I think Zeb Wells has brought it up a little bit. Still not great, not good enough to bring back a lot of readers because he's wrote a lot of crap. But overall, this was a missed opportunity. I think this would have been better to see more inner conflict with the Sandman on this issue. Here, my papers there. We just didn't get enough inner conflict with him. They made it too short. I think he wasted a great opportunity here because that's something there. The Sandman has had this inner conflict of being a hero or not being a hero for a long time. It really would be a better idea to explore possibly more of that. But, they didn't, so it is what it is. Let me go to my notes here for my next issue. Here it is, and this one is great. If you are not reading this series, this is one I recommend going back and getting it. We're only on issue 3, and that's The Ultimate Spider-Man, number 3. Its writer is Jonathan Hickman, and the artist is Marco Checchetto. Now, I will say, I'm notorious for saying I'm not a big fan of Hickman's writing. I think he drags things out too long, but I think the pacing is actually really good on this series, and I've really been enjoying it. Matter of fact, this is, I think, Marvel's #1 selling title. On League of Comics Geeks, 456 out of 460 liked it with a 4.7 average rating. You ready for this? I don't give high scores like this very often. I gave this book an 8.9. Yeah, an 8.9 out of 10. Peter Parker's new life gets even more complicated. Spider-Man sizes up the new hero Green Goblin. Yeah, be interesting to see who that is, but I think you could probably guess. As they team up to fight a new supervillain, and this is a cool version, it really is, of Bullseye. I enjoy it. This supervillain Bullseye is pretty cool. And the story continues to figure out more of what's going on, building the universe. This is, in my opinion, the best Marvel Comics book out on the shelves right now. Good art, good story, the good pacing, really good characterization. Hickman is doing really well with this book. As I said, we're only 3 issues in. If you're going to read anything, this is one of my top picks for the week, and something if you're just only reading Marvel or only Marvel and DC, this is one to definitely pick up. I think it deserves your time. The next one I want to talk about is not quite going to get as much praise, and that's The Incredible Hulk number 10. Philip Kennedy Johnson's the writer, the artist is Danny Earls. 51 out of 58 liked it with a 3.6 average rating on League of Comics Geeks, and I gave it a 7 out of 10. Now this had potential to be better, bear with me there. The Ghost Detective takes Hulk on a mind-bending adventure through the past. Yep, we're gonna get more into that, more with the deal with the girl, but here's the thing, it's a good cover. I really like the cover. I think it brings a lot to it. You know, that's the thing, a good cover brings attention to a comic book, makes you want to pull it off that comic book shelf. There's a pretty good alternate cover available of this too as well, and some are not as good. So once again, great cover, but then when you open it up, that's where it falls apart. I am so not a fan of this art style. I'm sorry, this art style just looks amateurish to me. It doesn't fit the story in my opinion. I'd like to know your thought on that though. And that's the kicker, because this is an interesting story. It has good pacing. The art is really holding this back. That's why I gave this issue just a 7 out of 10. I think it dropped the ball, if you will, in the art. If the art was good, I think it could have probably been 7.5 or so, but once again, it just couldn't do it for me. The next one I want to talk about is another series from Marvel that I have been enjoying, and sadly it's, you know, only a mini series, and that's Thunderbolts. We have Thunderbolts number 4. Yeah, number 4. Writer is Jackson Lansing. Writer is also Colin Kelly, and the artist is Geraldo Borges. 25 out of 26 liked it on League of Comics Geeks with a 4.2 average rating, which is showing that probably not a lot of people are picking this book up, but the people that are enjoying it, and that includes me. I gave this book, you ready? An 8 out of 10. Once again, I don't give scores that high that often, and I think there's a couple reasons why. The Wrath of Doom, yes, in his mission to eradicate every last trace of Red Skull, Bucky Barnes has located his true base of operations, and it's, yeah, in the heart of Laviteria, where Dr. Doom denies the request for entry, but, you know, the Thunderbolts do it anyway. This is an interesting team. I enjoy this team and the team dynamic here. I really wish we would get to see more of US Agent. I think it's a character that could be explored more, and I know Marvel's probably going to with the movies, Thunderbolt movie coming, and sadly I think that movie's going to fail though, probably, and you know, it'll probably deserve it, but we'll see what happens there. It's pretty good art in the story too, good story. And please give us more, really, give us more of this version of Thunderbolts. They're pretty interesting, and probably one of the reasons I gave it such a high score is really good use of Dr. Doom in this issue. If you are a fan of Dr. Doom, and trust me, Little Frugal is a huge fan of Dr. Doom, he will chuckle when he reads this with delight and happiness. Speaking of delight and happiness, this is a must-read book on my list. It's Duke number 4. Yeah, Duke number 4. Cover artist was Tom Riley, and pretty good cover too, by the way. The writer is Josh Williamson, artist is Tom Riley for the book there. And there has some good alternate covers as well, so there's a lot of good here. Duke is close to discovering the truth about the alien robots that have landed on Earth, but who or what is Mars? Yes, the story continues in this. Duke continues to be an absolutely excellent story. League of Comics Geeks said 96 out of 96 liked it with a 4.3 average rating. And are you ready? I gave this book an 8.5. Yeah, another high score from me. I have to say, any G.I. Joe fan should be reading this. Or even if you think you might be a G.I. Joe fan, check this out. Marvel, DC, take notes. Take notes of this. This is how you write a character. They're making Duke interesting by not breaking him down and tearing him up, but by showing his qualities of what makes him special, what is so great about him. This is how it is done. Once again, Zeb Wells, note message to you. Read this and apply it to Peter Parker. Make Spider-Man good again. Hey guys, today's video is sponsored by My Wallet. Yeah, I'm not trying to push any kind of wallet or pimp any wallet out. What I mean is it's sponsored by my personal wallet and the cash that comes out of it to pay for these things. If you want to help with this, you can hit like, subscribe, that notification bell. Those are great ways to get started. But if you find yourself in a position where you can help the channel more, we have a Patreon and a subscribe star down below that you can click on those links. And for as little as $1 a month, you'll have special videos and things to just you, music that you can get. Or maybe if you wanted to, a one-time donation just to help out, we have a Streamlabs link down below, Or we also have, if you go to the Patreon shop, you could buy a song for like $3. I wish I could put them a little lower, but that's the minimum they allow for that. So there's lots of options. Sometimes you might even see an Amazon link. If you want to buy anything through Amazon, click on my link first, then go through there. That'll give you a couple pennies, possibly that way too as well. So there's lots of ways you can help out the channel, because without you, it would not be possible. So thank you, everybody, and let's get back to the video. The next one we want to talk about is Daredevil #7. Writer Salman Ahmad, artist Aaron Kuder. League of Comics Geeks said 83 out of 85 liked it with a 4.2 average rating, where I gave it a 7.9, so not as high as them, but once again, still another high score. The wolf is at the door. The pulse-pounding Daredevil saga continues. Yes, we're going to get a possessed Wolverine versus Daredevil fight in this issue. It is a brutal fight. Absolutely brutal. Good art in this issue. Good story. Fun pacing. It's a fun issue. If you are a Daredevil fan, get this book. Matter of fact, if you're not a Daredevil fan, maybe check it out anyway, especially if you like a brutal fight with him and none other than Wolverine. Now, a little later on, stick with me here, okay? Because I'm going to be talking and hitting my soapbox on a particular issue here that really, really sucks. But before I get to that, let's talk about another DC issue that's pretty good. And that's Green Arrow issue number 10. And the creator, writer, if you will, is Joshua Williamson. The artist is Tom Derenick. And 133 out of 137 liked it with a 4.2 average rating on League of Comics Geeks. Yeah, I gave this book a 7.5, another high score for me. Where is Roy Harper? Well, we're going to find out where Roy is as the team, Arrow, if you will, gets together and looks into the situation. We get Amanda Waller in here. We're going to get Arrowette, Red Canary, Red Arrow, Speedy. This issue is interesting. I think it's good art, good cover, interesting story. I think Green Arrow is something that the fans will want to keep reading if you keep writing it like this. So Joshua Williamson, keep writing Green Arrow well. Come on, keep giving us reasons to come back to Green Arrow and read it. Now, sadly, this next one I can't speak of as highly, and that's The Flash #7. The writer is Simon Spurrier. The artist is Raymond Perez. And 83 out of 95 liked it with a 3.8 average rating. I think we got spoiled with the last creative team on The Flash, because this just isn't doing it. In my opinion, this book I gave it a 7. Yeah, it has mediocre art. The story continues to be overly convoluted, way too convoluted for its own good. This is just not a good starting point either for Flash readers. So if you're a Flash reader right now, it's time to be hitting the back issues. That's probably going to be your money better spent. And as a longtime Flash fan, I can't say I've read all of his issues, but I've read a lot of Flash. I'm just not a fan of this story. It's slow-paced. It should never happen with the Flash. It's just too convoluted and just not entertaining enough for me to dig and be into. What are your thoughts about the Flash? I want to know. I mean, the cover looks pretty cool and all. I like how they put the Flash logo at the top, but the story just isn't doing it for me. Now, the next issue, let's jump back to Marvel with Jackpot and Black Cat #1. Yep, 29 out of 59 liked it with a 2.7 average rating on League of Comics Geeks. That is not a good start. That's pretty bad, showing that not a lot of people are probably going to be picking up issue #2, especially with that many picking up only for #1. It's probably going to have a very significant drop-off. Now, comic books usually do. After the speculator market, you usually see around a 50% drop-off. I predict this is going to have worse than that. The writer is Celeste Brofman. Artist is Emilio Liasso. Now, with that said, the cover for this issue, the standard cover, not good. The faces on it are just terrible, but there is some alternate covers for this book that are really good. So if you collect books just for the cover, that's a reason. But here's the thing. I didn't give this book a high rating either. I gave it a 6 out of 10. Luck be the ladies. The most exciting new hero in the Marvel Universe. No, she is not. Jackpot is not that exciting. Mary Jane Watson should be Mary Jane Watson, not a superhero. Once again, don't at me and stuff. I like MJ. She's a great character, and I think that they're taking away from what makes her great by trying to turn her into a superhero. Now, I do like the pairing, though, of her and Black Cat working together. Maybe take away the powers, have her train, and have them be a team up that way, I could probably get into that. Anyway, I'm a big Black Cat fan as well, but somebody's blackmailing Black Cat. Yep. And blackmailing her to do villainous things. Yep. So Jackpot comes to help and ends up getting herself in trouble. So my thoughts on this issue in more detail is that Felicia is also in this book messing around with a female. She has a relationship now with a female character. Let's be honest, she's Peter Parker as a female. Female Peter Parker here. Lame. The art is decent for the interior art, but I am, once again, not a fan of this version of MJ. And let's be honest, nobody likes the Paul character, which that gives us an opportunity here, because at the end of the issue, there's a threat for MJ she gets by this organization, the same one that's getting the Black Cat and making her do what they want. But this villainous organization, if you will, is said, hey, Jackpot, you have to do this or we're going to kill Paul. Kill Paul, please. Get rid of them. I mean, really, I'm going to be honest with you. Think about this. Paul is nothing more than a bargain basement version of Oracle. Yeah, bargain basement Oracle. Terrible. No one likes Paul. Let's be honest. No one, I'm going to say that. I hardly ever go to absolutes. No one likes Paul. If anybody here watching this video likes Paul, let me know in the comments. I'm really going to be shocked if anybody says, yeah, I like Paul, because Paul sucks. He's a lame character, partly because he's in the way of Peter Parker. It's just getting in the way. All right, you're right. And that wasn't my soapbox. Whew. I'm saving my soapbox here for last. Are you ready for this one? This one is terrible. This should be ending the series. This should kill the series right here. And this is Power Girl issue number 7. 33 out of 53 liked it with a 3 average rating. And I think that's way higher than it deserves. Writer's Leah Williams. Artist is Marguerite Sauvage. Which, okay, you ready? They gave it a 3 average rating out of 5. I gave it a 3 out of 10. Okay, first of all, the cover is not exciting. Doesn't make you want to read it. Some of the alternative covers much better than this. So anyway, why? Well, this is Supergirls United. The Supergirls are trapped, yeah, just from the last issue, while tracking down the missing citizens of Metropolis. Paige and Kara have found themselves powerless in the mythical realm of Firmbaya. Okay, I can't pronounce that. They'll now have to rely on their wits to find an escape in the brains behind the whole operation before they're stuck in their own personal dark age. And here we go. This is an incredibly slow, boring first few pages of an issue. I will be honest, I struggled to get through this issue. I could barely read it. I wanted to skip pages, but I realized I can't do that and review it properly. I struggled to get through the first few pages. I don't think this art style is helping this book or series in any way. In fact, it's probably making a lot of people jump off this book. I think they're going to see this and go, no, this isn't for me. I don't think the readers that care for this character are going to continue with this book. I just don't. I don't think the story is strong enough, and the artwork is far from strong enough. The pacing is not good. I really could barely get through this crappy issue. This bored me to tears. In my opinion, skip this book. It's probably the jump off point of the series. If you give it this long of a time, which I did, it's probably time to stop. I'm going to be interested to see when they had 33 out of 53 liking on League of Comics Geeks, what the next review will be, how many people have actually read it and shared their thoughts. Because in my opinion, I can't picture it being many. I just can't. I didn't care for it. Not good. I'm sorry. This character deserves, Power Girl deserves better. Why they can't seem to write her good stories beyond me. But that's my soapbox. I think it's time to cancel Power Girl. What are your thoughts? I would love you to share them with me. Let me know, what should I have read? What did I miss? What do you agree with? What do you not agree with? And also take time to thank these people too. By the way, some of these people commenting every week on this channel, I'd like to thank them too. And some of them have comic book review channels as well. Check them out. There are some great channels that are also from the supporters here that you see, but some great channels that are in the comments. Support them too and check them out. They have some amazing views on comics, not always running the same as mine, and that's what I like. We have civil discussion, but it's nice to hear, and they're great people too. So check them out. Thank you everybody for your time, and until next time, keep it frugal.